Hi, folks. Welcome to Follow the Leader, a podcast focused on telling character driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Tumblr and Blue Sky at FTLcast and at FTLcast.com, and we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. Today we're playing Molotov College by W.H. Arthur. For those of you who are new to the game, here are the basics. You are the alumni of Molotov College, a school for kids gifted with superpowers who have now grown into young adults. Not only do you have to save the city from world-ending events, only some of which of your own doing, you also have to fight against social injustice and bullies with authority. On top of that, you have to deal with ghosts from your past and keep them from tearing the group apart, as well as literal ghosts that haunt the city. I'm Coda, or Jade, dealer's choice, and you can find me most places on the internet at Jade Oxford Rose, and I use they them pronouns. Playing with me today we have August.
Hello, I'm August. You can find me on Tumblr at Strange Harpy, on Blue Sky at Harpydora, as well as on itch.io as Harpydora, and my pronouns are they, them.
We also have Mac.
Hello, I'm Mac. You can find me on Tumblr, Blue Sky, and Itch at Citadel of Swords. I'm sure there's another place that I exist that I'm completely forgetting to mention here. I use they, them pronouns, or if there's another set of pronouns that let you commit to the bit, use those instead.
Last, but by no means least, dragged back out of retirement, kicking and screaming the whole way, we have Mab.
Hi, I'm Mab. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me anywhere on the internet at Little Lady Mab, and if I don't exist there under that screen name, try harder. Just kidding. I don't exist there.
And our lines, which are things we absolutely do not want to see, are anti-Semitism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, plagues, and pandemics. Our veils, things we're fine with addressing but we'll just fade to black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. Content warnings for this game include homophobia and transphobia, racism and sexism. Yes, these are normally amongst our lines, but Molotov College is a game expressly looking at various axes of marginalisation, and so we wanted to give that warning up here at the top. So, but with all of that out of the way, let's get started.
Woo! Woo! Yeah!
Right. So, dear listeners, with this group of players together, including out of retirement and once again back from sabbatical.
Who do you think we're playing, y'all?
So I have a brand new character for y'all? No.
I honestly, I think it would be... No, hold on a second. I do think it would be really funny if Mab just came in and was like, yeah, I'm playing Tane now.
Jesus.
Tane Barlow, who you guys will meet in September. Yeah.
Yippee!
But yes, as regular listeners are familiar, this group of players has a very specific group of characters. But for those of you who are joining us for the first time, or maybe haven't listened in a while, let's introduce who we're going to be playing today and what they look like in this universe. And now we're going to make Mab go first, because that is how we do when we have guests.
Oh yeah, I'm technically a guest now.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll be playing Kerrigan Kestrel, aka Carrie, uses she, her pronouns. Her playbook is the Empress, which the description of it is, do your friends really like you, or is it just your telepathic powers? Which, will go great for Carrie. The touchstones that are included, normal things. The touchstones are Allison Hargreaves from the Umbrella Academy, Jean Grey from the X-Men, Saturn Girl from the Legion of Superheroes, Alex Chen from Life is Strange, True Colors, and Shokuho Misaki from A Certain Scientific Railgun.
I have no idea what that show is, or that anime
I've
is, or that
never
comic
heard.
is, but A Certain Scientific Railgun is a baller title.
Rocks.
Right, yeah. Her look is glamorous and an expensive suit. And the look options were either a disarming eyes or an inviting smile, but I said no, she has a disarming smile.
You're right.
It's true. Her power is memory editing, which will go well, I promise. And then what makes her a minority is, unfortunately, Carrie is someone who doesn't really fit in belonging outside of belonging games because she is her minority is her just being a lesbian. That's it. That's all she's got.
I am playing Meryl Whitmer, my girl, my beloved. She uses she, her pronouns. Her playbook is the world. You have the ability to manipulate time and space. Touchstones for this playbook include number 5 from the Umbrella Academy. Surprise, surprise. Max Caulfield from Life is Strange, Akemi Homura from Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Fuck yeah. I really need to watch Madoka, actually.
You do.
Nakamura Hiro. Yeah. Nakamura Hiro from Heroes, Cable from the X-Men, and Flash from the Justice League. Normal touchstones.
Sorry, the idea of comparing Meryl and the Flash is very funny to me.
Really funny.
Especially depends which version of the Flash, to be fair.
Yes. It's true.
It very much depends on which version of the Flash. Her look is youthful, anachronistic. The playbook mentions round sunglasses, which I did really like, but I am also making them star-shaped. Her power is short-range teleportation that recently and unexpectedly became long-term time travel. And the thing that makes her a minority is she has an Afro-Latina lesbian. Normal girl shit. Actually, legitimately normal girl shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. I am going to be playing Max Valera using the Moon playbook. You have been taught to conceal your powers as they can only lead to ruination, or so you believed. And the touchstones the playbook offers up are Victor Hargreaves from the Umbrella Academy, Elsa from Frozen, Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force from X-Men, and Raven from Titans. Because very weird to see it called Titans and not Teen Titans.
I know.
I know what I'm about. Her look, flannel shirt, military surplus jacket, a cane, and a leg brace, specifically looking like Gina Rodriguez as she appears in Annihilation. Her power is cosmic energy, specifically black holes and cosmic phenomena. And what makes her a minority is she's a gender non-conforming lesbian of color, suffering from depression and chronic pain, as well as being physically disabled.
And you've probably guessed by now I'll be playing Soulhawk. Uses she, her pronouns.
August comes in with the backswing and says, no, I'm playing Parker.
Yeah.
We're all just full of surprises today.
Yes, I am going to continue to make these jokes.
Her playbook is Justice, a brooding vigilante who is determined to do what's right at any cost. Touchstones for this playbook include Diego Hargreaves from the Umbrella Academy, Batman from the Justice League, Wolverine from the X-Men, and Daredevil from Marvel Comics. Her look, which I didn't write down, I don't know why I didn't write it down, is a leather jacket and sharp eyes. Her power is regeneration. And what makes her a minority is she's a gender nonconforming trans lesbian.
All right. The next question concerns the headmaster. So I'm quickly going to pop the questions about them from the game PDF, because the headmaster, the adopted parent of the Molotov College alumni, is one of the environment playbooks that you often see in Belonging Outside Belonging games, which we will take turns picking up as and when. So we should probably suss out who this is, but we can say what our relationship to them is first. But one of the things we did decide, given the touchstones from the book, are Sir Reginald Hargreaves from Umbrella Academy, Professor Charles Xavier from the X-Men, the Chief from Doom Patrol, and Ikari Gendo from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Ikari Gendo being on this list is crazy.
But also we decided, what if Gendo was a MILF?
As a treat to us.
As a treat to, but also it seemed apt that
Come back, Mab, we have MILFs.
But yeah, we should figure out, other than the fact that it's an older woman who is hot, we should maybe let's talk about our characters' relationships to her, and then we can just isolate some of these questions, because I think some of them we answered, but not all of them.
Yeah.
No, we answered none of them. We got distracted by the MILF of it all.
For Carrie in particular, her relationship with the headmaster, as outlined in the book, is that you may be a telepath, but she is the master manipulator. And like a parental figure that you have to obey, or someone with too many secrets. It is extremely, Carrie is the telepath, but they're the mental manipulator. But the headmaster was a mentor beyond the bounds of the school. So like even after Carrie graduated, it was something that she kept in touch with this professor and worked alongside her and did a lot of like, you know, things within the community. That's not a / positive. That is like a politician's sort of approach, but like in the way that Carrie is a not / positive politician. She's not looking out for her community all that much. I'm sorry.
All right, Meryl?
Oh shit, I'm the one who's next. What does a headmaster mean to you? If I'm remembering correctly, the fact that this PDF is in singles and not spreads is driving me a little bit nuts. One of the options that it gives for the World playbook, which is the playbook I picked, I already said that, is someone who knows everything, and I twisted that a little bit, because I'm doing, spoiler alert, I'm doing the 5 thing. To someone who I believed, past tense, knew everything.
It should be said, I don't know anything about Umbrella Academy beyond what I picked up from Tumblr GIFs, so...
That's fine, you don't need to.
Yeah,
you don't need
and
to.
I'm like, all of these Umbrella Academy references are gonna go over my head.
Yeah. For Max, what the headmaster means to her is someone who teaches her about control. We'll expand on that in a little bit. Teaching somebody about control might not quite be the apt. Maybe teaches about the need for control. We shall see.
Or it could be whose level of control.
And Sol.
So what the headmaster means to Sol is someone that Sol was never good enough for her standards.
Damn.
Rip.
Yikes.
I mean,
it fits really well with her relationship with
does.
Carrie, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, but like, whoop.
Oof.
Okay.
Yeah, she was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of thinking that Sol was never the right kind of girl for the headmistress.
Makes sense. Still upsetting, but you know. Let's quickly grab, while we're talking about the headmistress, indicate some desires and where she is now, which are questions from the book that we should probably answer. Also a name, which we are notoriously awful for.
I like Dr. M mostly because I can't see Regina without thinking about Mean Girls. And I'm like,
I think Once Upon a Time, but you know, much the same vibe.
That's a better option.
Dr. M is good though,
yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
What do we like out of these looks? We could do the full Gendo reflective glasses thing while we're here.
Really
Yes.
fun. Love that for me.
Okay.
Gray hair.
Force you to
Milf,
look
milf,
at your
milf.
own reflection when you look at her.
Yeah. Oh, so I picked one and Mab picked one. How about August and Mac? You both pick one of the things off.
That means I have to scroll all the way down.
They're in the doc.
It's in the text.
I put it in the doc as well. So it's
I'm
That
going
means I
with
have
the
to
bottom
switch
of the
tabs.
well, rip.
Oof. Life is hard.
I'm basically fucked no matter what I do.
Mhm.
I'm going with haughty expression.
Bridget.
I'm going with jeweled cufflinks.
Ooh.
I know what the fuck I'm about,
I was
okay?
gonna say business suit, but also, yeah.
All right. And what is her desire? The PDF lists as options justice, peace, morality, responsibility, secret ulterior motive, advancements of mankind, strong must protect the weak, defend humanity against unknown threats. I suppose this is what we understand as characters her desire to be. Who knows what she was actually about? What is actually about?
I have a thought.
Mm.
Advancement of mankind.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, let's go.
Because it's
Yeah.
like...
Doesn't rule out having a later secret ulterior motive, but
Right.
There's just a lot of room in advancement of mankind because it's like, you know, not to invoke the specter of fascism, but at the same time, mankind above everything else. I feel that could be something that, you know, could be in play with Dr. M's motivations.
Yeah. And then the final question in the PDF is, where is the headmaster now? And the options it suggests are dead, but they still haunt the alumni in their memories, away on a mission, but no one has heard from them in a long time, still around and shows up to nag the alumni occasionally. What do we like the vibe of? Also, none of us are playing the playbook that expressly has the ability to see the dead and ghosts, but also it's very much baked into the setting that ghosts are real. So...
Davy Jane
I mean-
blows a kiss.
we do also have the character who has the ability to do time bullshit. We'll get into that. I'll decide if I want to do something with that.
To that end, knowing that we have the potential for flashbacks and memories, one of us is a time traveler, and we do have a former team member who can see ghosts. Why don't we say she's dead?
I like the idea of her being dead, and especially like it's dead but still haunt the alumni in their memories,
Yes.
and like the idea of time travel with Meryl and Carrie feeling that pressure of her ghost and everything like that to be able to then like pick up the pieces that were left off and like take on the new mantle, I think would be very tasty.
I've put, so dead, but they still haunt the alumni and the memories, and I've put in brackets, and also their lives.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the headmistress. So now we have personal questions. Each playbook has one sort of specific to their abilities or the flavor text of that, and then the others to do with relationships with each other.
Yeah. So, Carrie's first question, in your civilian life, you hurt someone you love with your powers. What happened? I think it was probably one of her ex-girlfriends. It was just something that Carrie attempted to cover up. This is going to be a trend for her. Spoiler alert. And that it did come back to light in a way that maybe she was unpracticed with her abilities and didn't, you know, rearrange things perfectly in a way that made her ex completely disregard it. She's gotten better, but it was like, I think one of the first like genuine interactions she had with someone that wasn't in her school, and she fucked it up real bad and kind of took it in a way that was just like, well, going forward, no genuine interactions. Thank you. Surface level for everybody. Thumbs up.
Oh my god. Girl.
It's fine.
I was emotionally vulnerable once and never again.
I was emotionally vulnerable once. I made a mistake. Therefore, it's not for me.
Mhm.
The other one is Who Always Has Your Back, and it's Max. They get along somehow in every universe. And you used your powers on one other alumni. Do they know about it? And it is, she used them on Soul in as much as she erased the memories of a bad breakup as the group started to fall apart. And no, Soul sure doesn't know about it. And everyone else has been separated long enough that Soul still doesn't know about Soul might know about it eventually. But at that point in time, Carrie learned how to cover up her tracks better.
Oh my god. Okay, let's get into this. My first question, I just tapped out of this. Why did I do that? My first question, what does the apocalypse look like when you travel to the future? Overgrown, but not yet green. Many of the structures still stand, but with great holes bored through them and chunks removed. Whatever that means. Desolate, but cold, not like desert desolate, if that makes sense. In an alternative timeline, one of the alumni sacrificed their life for you. Who? That was Carrie. Don't know what that looks like yet. We'll figure that out in play. And then in an alternative timeline, one of the alumni betrayed you. Who? And that was Max. And we talked about it a little bit in terms of it being more of an emotional betrayal instead of a like Max literally like turning around and stabbing Meryl in the back. Like Max thinking that she was making a good decision. What was it that you said? Thinking that she made like a good decision and it just made things worse? Was that what it was? I've immediately forgotten.
Yeah, I think it was sort of the way I was thinking about it was Max like not that this is more important than us, but kind of I like didn't think the relationship was enough. Like the touch phrase I used was love was not enough to save us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
because that'll come up in a
Obviously,
moment.
those. Oh yeah.
For those listeners who are aware of this group of characters, I hope you are eyes emoji about that because I am.
Yeah. Obviously these are both alternative timelines, so not necessarily here, but that'll probably complicate some stuff in the current timeline, I'm sure.
Nah.
All right, so Max's questions. Do you know about the full extent of your power? If so, how do you keep it in check? If not, what is the trigger? Max doesn't know the full extent, having never used it unchecked, but it was drilled in from an early age. It has the potential to be hugely dangerous. The headmistress made her a pair of bracelets that help control the flow of power, and they will render Max unconscious if her body starts to channel too much energy. These bracelets were made when Max was a teenager. I'm sure they're still working totally fine and are not on the edge of failing at all.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, these are like I want to say these also can't be taken off. Like I'm imagining like metal that was like welded closed kind of vibe. So, um, who thinks you are special irregardless of your power? It's Meryl. To quote a previous
You're
iteration,
right to say that.
it's always Meryl. It's always been Meryl. It will always be Meryl. Because
Max
Mwah.
wistful sigh.
I love them.
yeah.
I miss them.
And who thinks you are a liability? August and I talked a little bit about this off mic. I've condensed our conversation. It's Sol. It's not that Max isn't capable; it's what she could be capable of, which felt like a succinct way of sort of boiling it down. Because it's not that Max like needs a cane or things like that. It's that her powers are very dangerous, and also potentially Max is unstable. We don't know. We got to come back to Meryl disappearing for some time. Or we'll become eliminated. But August, let's get Sol's questions.
Yes, so Saul's questions. The first one is what is your current crusade as a vigilante? And Soul's basically out to stop the apocalypse no matter the personal cost.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. Who do I see as my rival? My response is, Carrie was a rival while we were in school, but now I'm not sure where we stand. And, you see one of the alumni as a younger sibling that needs your protection. Who are they? That's gonna be Meryl.
Of course it is.
To the surprise of no one who has heard a Gorls recording before.
All right. There are also 6 environment playbooks that we will take turns playing. We already introduced the headmaster as one of them. We'll distribute them between us to play. Generally speaking, we are very cavalier with belonging outside belonging games.
Yeah.
Like, you know. But the environmental playbooks, and I'll quickly just rattle through these if nobody objects, and then we can get into the game. But the apocalypse, the end of the world as we know it, gets picked up when someone investigates or tries to alter the apocalypse, time passes, or it is dramatic to do so. The next environment playbook is Drama Within. Despite the resentment and old scars between the alumni, they always make it through, probably. You pick up when tensions arise between the alumni, someone learns of a previously hidden secret about another alumni, or it is dramatic to do so. We've already introduced the headmaster, but this playbook gets picked up when someone reminisces about their time as a student, someone is lost and looking for guidance, or it continues to be dramatic to do so. There is the Phantom Wind. Tears in the veil between the dead and the living do not stay in one place. This phenomenon is referred to as the Phantom Wind. This gets picked up when someone opens themselves up to the Phantom Wind, someone seeks the dead for answers in a location of high paranormal activity, or you've guessed it, it is dramatic to do so. There is the Power playbook. Cops, government agents, and security contractors, those who wield authority with little to no accountability, gets picked up when someone attracts the attention of the power, someone breaks the law in public, or it is dramatic to do so. And finally, Society. I regret to inform you we live in one. The society at large, civilians in need of help, and villainous plans that need foiling pick up when someone interacts with the society, someone interacts with a minor character that is not part of another environment playbook, or it is dramatic to do so. There is stuff about the city itself. We can maybe draw that later if we want. But much like characters, the environment also have strong and weak moves, ways to influence the story. And as the game goes on, we will have the opportunity to gain tokens by doing weak moves, spend tokens to do strong moves, or we will continue. And if any previous experience with this sort of system flows, we will forget largely about token mechanics. But they are there, and they are good, to be clear. Do not take our forgetfulness about using token mechanics as a commentary on token mechanics. We're just bad at it.
No, token mechanics are good.
We just get lost in the RP sauce, is the thing.
Yeah.
That's the way that it go.
But that, I mean, do we want to establish anything about our city? We were talking a little bit about it potentially being coastal, West Coast, United States.
West Coast, best coast, woo! I say it as someone who lives in a coastal city on the West Coast.
I suppose the one thing of the city questions, because it suggests some draw some places on the map, but the first question is what happened to the college itself? And the options it suggests, it's no longer in use but kept tidy by the robot butler. It's disused and boarded up, destroyed in a battle and now lying in ruins, or still functioning with a new generation of students. What do we like as a notion for our alma mater?
There is a part of me that wants to offer it up to Soul as a home base.
That's very fun.
I don't know, because I like the idea of it still functioning, because, you know, with without Dr. M and, potentially vastly changed. So it's a case of you can never go home kind of deal.
Yeah, I like the functioning with the new generation or no longer in use but kept tidy, in as much as then, like, that's the pressure that's being put on Carrie, is to then start it back up again, and start that new generation of students.
I got a pitch for you that combines all of these ideas. What if the original college is no longer in use and boarded up, and maybe Sol is using it as a base and chatting to the robot butler, but the college as an institution is continuing elsewhere, but maybe Dr. M died at the old college and that's why it's got like a rep. Maybe there's some structural damage. So again, the college exists, but maybe it's just not this particular, not the building that we went to, not where we lived, not where we were superheroes.
Yeah.
That's my pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea.
That works, yeah.
Me living my why not both life.
Yeah.
Always and forever. Okay. So
Always
that
and
is,
forever.
I guess we start playing scenes out now.
Oh my
So,
God.
hey, Mac,
Yaha.
do we want to maybe start with Meryl, given what we were chatting about
yeah.
her current deal is, or not, as the case
Yes.
may be?
No, I was thinking that. I mean, I was thinking that if nothing else, the start point is like. Now, the thing that I'm trying to decide is where. I think it makes sense for it to be outside the original school.
Totally.
Is like. And I think that. Okay. So I think that it's like middle of the day, let's say. So no one's there. And there's like nobody walking by either. Is the old school in a like a residential area, or is it like on the outside of the city? Like
I would say it's probably like on the outside of like a residential area, in as much as then it can be on the beach and have some space for itself in a really like exclusive sort of way, where it's just like, yeah, there's houses around it.
Very Xavier's School for Mutants kind of vibe.
Yeah,
like...
yeah.
Okay. So not a lot of people around.
No.
Yeah. So I really think that it is just like a so one of the things also, hold on a second. Back. One of the things also for the playbooks is that powers have a drawback. I don't think I ever wrote down what my drawback was, but I definitely picked it. Which is I'm scrolling. Yeah, so all the powers have a drawback, and the drawback that I picked for Meryl's power is disorientation. And I think definitely with her, like, making it back from the future that she was in, there is, like, a moment, I think. So there is a, like, shifting in space, I guess, at the front gate, or the fence or whatever. Like, almost like a bend around, like, a fisheye lens. The way that a fisheye lens, like, makes a space look. And then, Meryl is there. I think she looks... I'm not going to go with the full 5. She looks like she's the age that she was when she left. Which is still so fucking funny to me that they did that. She does look older. Her I want to say that, now I have to decide. I want to say that her hair probably looks really, really bad because she hasn't had, like, a chance to take care of it in the last 4 or 5 years of being in the apocalypse. I cannot imagine that for a person who has extremely curly hair like Black people do, that the apocalypse is in any way good for their hair whatsoever. Actually, she is probably just, I'm thinking about it, she has probably fully shaved it off.
Oh.
Yeah. So she is probably, like, full buzz. And she, like, kind of, like hits the sidewalk outside of the school, like, hands and knees, and kind of, like, struggles up to her feet after a moment and, like, squints at the house. And is like, I don't think it was still standing. Like, she's, like, very much, like, looking at it going, what fucking year am I in? Because this isn't what it looked like when like, she doesn't say all of this out loud. She does say, though, what fucking year am I in? But it's very much, like, this house did not look like this when I left. And she kind of, like, squints around. I don't think she can really see very well. There's probably still, like, trees and stuff with, like, what season is it, do we think? I want to say it's spring or summer.
If it's SoCal, there are no seasons.
That's true. That's fair.
But, like, stuff blossoms. Let's say it's spring. Or as close to spring as we get. Important question, though, Mac. Mac, how old does Meryl look? And how old was Meryl when she disappeared? And how long has she been gone from this timeline?
So I think that Meryl has been gone for somewhere between 4 and 5 years. She looks... no, she is 4 or 5 years older. She looks 10 years older. Because that's what stress does to a motherfucker.
Word.
So she is, and if I define her age, that's going to define the ages of everyone else. I want to say that she was a teenager when she left. And I think that she's probably the youngest of the 4 of us.
Sounds good.
Which still opens up the others being in their early 20s when she disappeared. And now, let's say if she was 17, which is where I am in my head. All right, I'll push it another couple of years, because I'm like, if she was 17, let's say she's 23 now.
Okay.
But she looks like she's... Because I'm just like, if she was older than 17, she wouldn't have made a time jump like that.
Yeah. But I think something like
she would have thought about it.
But yeah, her being like 22, 23 and looking like she's 30 feels very reasonable given what you've been chatting about.
Yes. I think the reason why I was asking about what season it is because I feel like she is not used to there being tree cover. And she is, like, confused about being in the shade as she kind of, like looks around, like, trying to figure out when she is. She's like, okay, I think I made it back.
I really like the notion that somebody is, like, walking a dog just nearish enough by that can be like, yo, you good?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Do you want to pick up society then? I'm joking.
Yeah, I'll go for that. Yeah, I think this is a dog walker, because this is probably a pretty well-to-do area. So this is like some... Oh, do I do that? Sure, I'm gonna do that. Just a really somebody should not be this pale living in Southern California, but somehow they're managing. Like mousy brown hair, warm back, and has got one of those waist belts with like 5 different dogs that they're walking.
But
Yeah.
to be clear, they're all very small little dogs.
Yeah, a lot of small little dogs wearing like a wide brimmed hat to keep the sun off their face, being pulled along by these dogs, and they sort of slow down as they see Meryl in some confusion, and be like, "Hey, are you okay?"
Huh? Yeah, sorry. Concussion recovery? You know how it is, right?
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, my that's not important. Can I call someone? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna. She's like trying to remember. I think she says, actually, do you have a phone? Call an Uber for me?
Um, yeah. I pull out a phone. And pull up.
She's really playing at the concussion angle, so she's like, I'm not gonna look at a fucking
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
If I have a major concussion, like she's like, this is the easiest excuse that I can give for why I'm this disoriented. That doesn't make me seem like an
Yeah.
alcoholic.
Yeah. So she's like, summons up a ride sharing app. Just like, I can call a person if you want. As I've summoned the app, summoning you a ride.
No, I think she might have changed her number. It's okay if you can just get me to a library. I can look some stuff up.
Yeah. Weird question. I'm sorry. It's going to be about 7 minutes. I show you. I go to show you and then realise you're avoiding looking at the phone for a reason and don't show you. Has anyone ever told you you look a bit like Meryl Whitmer?
Yeah, I hear that a lot, actually.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of pictures. Yeah, it's kind of uncanny. Like older, sure, but Squints tries to control three
I
small
want this-
dogs.
There's it would be
There is a corgi trying to climb Meryl.
yeah, I think that she will like kind of like squint enough to look down and be like, can I pet the dog?
That one, yeah. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
And she will like very carefully like crouch down and like scrunch up the dog's face. She is dodging this question. I she can't do the Tony Hawk thing yet because she needs to be back, but I very much have the idea in my head of someone being like, I wonder what she's up to now, and she just goes this.
Yeah. I think there's like not super awkward silence, but just sort of like dogs are a great distraction in that way.
Yes.
But I think the rideshare car shows up, and this person like scribbles down. They pull like a beat up like ticket or something out of the pocket and scribbles down a number and hands it to her. And like, you call if you need anything, yeah?
Yeah. Thanks. What's your name again?
It's Theo.
Thanks, Theo. I'll pay you back for this. I promise.
Don't worry. No. It's okay.
Well, thanks. And she like gets in the car and she's gonna go to the library. And
as the camera pulls away, like Meryl can see like Theo in the rearview of the car. Like, Theo is gonna get it. So she's like, "Holy shit, Davey! I just saw a girl outside your old school who looked just like fucking Meryl Whitmer with a shaved head."
Oh fuck! If Davy gets that, then if Davy gets that, does Davy tell the others?
I don't know how many of them he's still in touch with.
That's fair.
Sad.
Because it's like their whole friend group fell apart. Who is he gonna tell?
Yeah. Especially given that Meryl was probably the linchpin of keeping like things together.
I wonder if and you, final decision goes to you obviously for Davy, but if Davy would at least tell Soul, because that's her sister.
Yeah, I think out of any of the characters, like, he probably keeps in touch with them individually.
Smart.
But like within different capacities too. But yeah, I think he's always had a more friendly relationship with Soul, and being able to tell her, being like, "Hey, heads up, FYI, because I know you've kind of been hanging around that area. Watch out. So, something weird might be going on." I wasn't like, the fact that Theo witnessed it and not Davy means that, like, hey, at least it's not a ghost. But it could also be a ghost. Who knows? The wind could be acted up real big time.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm closing the scene out, but we've kind of established that this is... I have established that this is modern because I fucking name-dropped Uber.
It's all good.
But yeah. Meryl is going to, like, go to the library and, like, see if she can find contact information for... I think she's going to try and find Soul first. And if that fails, then Max. And if that fails, then Carrie.
Carrie, the most public out of all of them.
Easiest one to find, for sure.
Yeah. Listen, I know she could be the backup, because I know she exists. She's got her LinkedIn. She's probably got her government website,
Gosh.
It's also very much a, like, well, I'm going to try to find my sister first, and barring that, my not ex, and barring that, Carrie, I guess.
Yeah, that's so valid.
I will drop the scene there. I will leave it up to y'all who Meryl manages to make it in touch with.
I don't want to say that Soul's, like, dropped completely off the map, but she's definitely not the person you track down.
Yeah, and again, it's like, it's probably really only Davy that still has contact with Soul. Yeah,
I think it has to be Carrie.
Yeah.
I think it has to be Carrie, not just because it is also objectively the funniest, but, like, Max is definitely sort of low-key and would not be listed. So...
Yeah.
But also because it is fucking funny.
Then in which case, yeah, I think it is that Carrie, out of the blue gets some kind of, like, I don't know, is it like a text message? Does Meryl have a phone that functions in this timeline? And if not, does she manage to, like, log back into her real old email in order to then send Carrie an email or something?
Use your long defunct live journal account to send a message. Fuck. No, it's definitely Tumblr. No.
I was like, Carrie does not check her Tumblr.
Meryl's phone does not work. I think she... No. It's not Tumblr, but it's like Meryl is absolutely of the Tumblr generation, not of a live journal one. But no, Meryl's phone fell into a snowbank and no longer would work, even if she like she wasn't able to charge it, but she was like holding on to it in a way of like, when I get back, I will be able to plug it in, and hopefully it will not be so out of date that it will not work. But she does, like... A way in which Meryl differs from me is that she does just use the same password for everything. I do not do this. So she gets back into her old email to email I'm guessing there's got to be some contact information on Carrie's LinkedIn, I guess.
Yeah. There's something. It's
Yeah. And it is like a very distinctive email account. I think it is like the email account that she made that is specifically not linked, like specifically not the Molotov College email account. In a like, in the sort of moment of rebellion of like, I am going to have accounts that my mother doesn't know about sort of situation. And she has so much fucking spam email, so she like sends, I think she sends Carrie a, she just sends Carrie an email that says, I lived, bitch, and then she starts clearing out her old, emails.
Right. She would is the thing. She 100%.
This is the thing, is that, like, the clearest method of proving her identity is to send an email to your ex-rival, with your old email account that you haven't used that you made when you were 15 years old. No, earlier than that, 13 years old.
Oh, yeah.
With a meme. An old meme, but a meme.
Yeah. I think the first reaction Carrie has is to try and call Meryl. It doesn't work. And then, so she does send back just like a, what the literal fuck? And then drop your location, I'll come get you.
I think she said, I think the reply that she gets is almost instantaneous, is, don't have a phone, can't drop a location, this is the library. Please come get me, I don't think I can teleport again for a minute.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, she'll just be like, all right, be there in 20. And 20 minutes later, Carrie rolls up and she's sometimes has a chauffeured car. This is her actual, she is driving. And she'll just like pull up to the front of the library. And if Meryl's not waiting, she will politely walk inside and not lay on her horn because it is a library. But Carrie, yeah.
I think Meryl, like, spends another 10 minutes trying to see if she can dig up anything else about Sol and Max, fails, and then just, like, goes outside and is just, like, leaning against a metal fence or something. She looks pretty beat up, I want to say. Like, she still looks a little fuzzy. Like, she still looks like she's not quite all there.
She's still downloading into this time zone.
Yeah. And she's also a little overdressed for the weather. Like, it is definitely warmer than, what she's wearing. I think she, like, has pulled the jacket off, but she's still in, like, a sweater.
Yeah.
And it's SoCal.
It's SoCal, baby. Well, admittedly, we start wearing sweaters when it hits 70, but that's a different story. And so, yeah, Carrie will just roll up, complete exact opposite. She is pristine and put together. Even if this is like a weekend, she still looks fabulous, of course. But she'll pull up and just roll down her window and be like, girl, you come here often?
I think Meryl just starts cackling.
Get in. What the fuck? Get in the car.
And she, like, gets in the car. She brushes off, like, the back of her jacket, gets in the car, and she's like, I never thought I would say this, but it's good to see you, Kestrel.
Ooh, that must be real bad, if you're saying that to me. Couldn't get a hold of anyone else, I take it.
No. No.
All right.
What year is it?
She says whatever year it is. Is it 2025?
Okay.
Who knows? Whatever year it is.
I think Meryl, like, kind of, like, nods and is like, okay. Could be worse, but all things considered, not the worst it could be.
No, she'll give you a once-over. Definitely not. All right, do you want to go get coffee? Do you want something stronger? Or do you want to go have a shower?
A shower actually sounds really nice.
All right. She'll take you back to her place and just be like, all right, here's some wardrobe that you can change into. Please avail yourself of my very nice, expensive shower.
Yeah, I think the last thing that she says before she like goes to take a shower is like before Carrie can leave, she like stops and she says, they're still alive, right?
Yeah, they are. They're just hard to get a hold of.
Okay. Good. And she'll like, she visibly relaxes and she goes, okay. And she like goes to take a shower. Like very much a like, alive is all I need. Anything else is fixable.
Yeah. And Carrie will just order some takeout and put together like different drink options for when Meryl gets out. And it's just like, here is the hard stuff. Here is the less hard stuff. Here is some coffee and tea. And then also just drink lots of water.
Yes.
You look dehydrated, bitch. Drink some water.
She is like ashy in a way that like she should not be.
Yeah.
But she does get out. She looks better. Still not great. She's not dirty anymore. I think she's just in like loose sweatpants and like an old, probably I can only imagine she doesn't recognize it, but it's like an old t-shirt that Carrie stole from Soul a long time ago.
Oh, probably. It was just like, I'm not gonna let you wear my nice clothes, but here's some weird not nice things that I happen to have.
Well, she wasn't gonna wear the nice clothes anyway. Like, she, she, wants to be in, like, loungewear right now.
Yeah.
And she will, like, drink a glass of water. I think she's going to eat very slowly.
Yeah.
And she's going to... I don't think she's going to say anything. If Carrie has questions, she needs to ask them.
To be continued.